We're swimming in data these days, right? But is any of it actually useful? A lot of the time, the answer is no. And it all comes down to one thing: the quality of the questions we ask. So that's what we're going to tackle today: how to stop asking bad questions and finally get the data you actually need.
I'm sure you've heard this one before. Garbage in, garbage out. It's a classic, and for good reason. When you're trying to get information from people, it is the golden rule. Ask a junk question, and guess what? You're going to get junk answers. It really is that simple.
Think about it. We've all been there, right? Staring at a survey, totally confused. Or maybe you've seen results from a study and thought, that can't be right. Well, here's the secret. It's usually not the people answering who are the problem, it's the questions themselves. So let's figure out how to fix that.
Okay, so the moment you decide to ask a question, you're at a crossroads. And this first choice you make, it's a big one. It's going to define the kind of data you get back. So what is it? It's the choice between an open-ended question and a closed-ended one.
So what's the real difference here? Well, think of it like this. An open-ended question is like handing someone a microphone and saying, "Tell me what you think." They get to answer in their own words with all the detail they want. A closed-ended question, on the other hand, is basically a multiple-choice test. You give them the options, and they just have to pick one.
And this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Look on the left. The open questions are super straightforward. What is your current age? And there's a blank line. But on the right, the closed version gives you these neat little age brackets to choose from. Same thing for marital status. It's the same topic, sure, but you can see how you're going to get very different kinds of answers.
So here's the deal. There's a trade-off, and you really got to understand it. Open questions, they can give you incredibly rich, detailed information, the kind of stuff you'd never think to ask about. But trying to analyze thousands of unique answers, it's a total headache. Closed questions are the opposite. Super easy to analyze, you're just counting check marks. But you lose all that juicy detail, and you might accidentally push people toward an answer they wouldn't have chosen on their own.
All right, so we've got the basics covered. Now let's walk through the danger zone. I'm talking about a minefield of bad questions, 5 common traps that people fall into all the time. And trust me, any one of these can absolutely wreck your data.
First on our list is the ambiguous question. This is the kind of question that's so fuzzy, so unclear, that 2 people can read it and think it means 2 totally different things. And if that happens, your results are worthless, because you can't compare the answers. It's a total data killer.
I mean, look at this question. On the surface, it seems simple enough, right? Is your work made difficult because you are expecting a baby? But think about it. If someone answers no, what does that actually mean? Does it mean she's not pregnant? Or maybe she is pregnant, but her work is totally fine. You have no way of knowing. And just like that, the answer is completely useless.
Okay, pitfall number 2, the dreaded double-barreled question. This is that classic mistake where you try to be efficient and cram 2 questions into one. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. It just confuses everybody.
Just look at this one. How often and how much time do you spend on each visit? It's asking about 2 separate things: frequency, how often, and duration, how much time. So how are you supposed to answer that? If you go twice a week for 10 minutes, what's your answer? You're basically forcing the person to guess which part you care about more, and no matter what they do, your data gets messed up.
All right, next up we have the leading question. And this one is sneaky. It's not really about getting an honest answer, it's about getting the answer you want to hear. It's designed to nudge people in a specific direction, which introduces bias right from the get-go.
This is a classic. Unemployment is increasing, isn't it? See what's happening there? It's not really asking for your opinion. It's making a statement and then asking you to agree. That little "isn't it" at the end, that's pure social pressure. It makes it sound like agreeing is the only sensible thing to do.
Pitfall number 4 is a trap that even the smartest people fall into: using jargon. Those technical, complex words. You might know exactly what it means, but if your audience doesn't, they're just going to get confused, skip the question, or worse, just guess. You have to speak their language.
Seriously, look at this. Is anyone in your family a dipsomaniac? Would you even know what that means? Most people wouldn't. It's just a fancy, technical word for an alcoholic. So why not just say that? Why not just ask if anyone's an alcoholic? The lesson here is simple. Always choose clarity over trying to sound clever.
And for our last pitfall, we have the presumptive question.
This is when you ask something that's based on an assumption you've made about the person, an assumption you haven't actually confirmed. You're basically putting them in a really awkward spot.
Like this one. How many cigarettes do you smoke in a day? By asking this right away, you're just assuming the person is a smoker. So, what's a non-smoker supposed to say? The right way to do this is with a two-step process. First, you ask a filter question, like, do you smoke? If and only if they say yes, then you can ask how many. You've got to qualify first.
So there you have it. You're now equipped to spot a bad question from a mile away. And once you start looking, you'll see them everywhere, in surveys, in the news, everywhere. It really makes you think, doesn't it? So, I'll leave you with this. What's the absolute worst, most mind-bogglingly bad question you've ever been asked?